start with one of the big positives of this machine, its firepower. The 90mm gun on this thing is quite simply great. You have one of the very best DPMs among the tier 8 premium mediums, combined with an excellent 212mm of penetration on your standard AP shells and the usual 240 average damage per shot. While this thing does not have preferential matchmaking, aka it will meet tier 10s regularly, the base penetration will be enough for most situations, so you won't need to resort firing APCR all too often, which by the way has a nifty 259mm of pen. Your base rate of fire is better than most other mediums out there as well, with a reload of only 7 seconds between shots, which will give you about 8.6 rounds per minute without any equipment or skills. The shell velocity is very good as well, with the standard 1000 meters per second, and the fact that with 90 shells you pretty much never have to worry about running out of ammunition is a big plus as well. The secondary stats are good too, though the picture is a bit more mixed in this regard. The aim time is one of the very best at 2.1 seconds only, but the accuracy, while still really good at 0.33 meters, is not top-notch anymore compared to the competition. The dispersion while moving is even worse compared to the other tier 8, so this is not your typical circle strafing medium, for other reasons as well, as we will see shortly. Other than this, gun depression is really nice at 10 degrees, but that's actually rather standard with this competition. Moving on to mobility, this is definitely another highlight of the CDC, with almost exclusively good news. The real star is the light tank-like power-to-weight ratio with a whopping over 35 horsepower per ton, which combined with the best-in-class 57 km/h top speed will be the main selling point for a lot of people. If you pay attention, you will be able to get anywhere in time and then some. Even with the pretty much worst-in-class terrain resistances, this thing literally flies on the ground like nothing else, allowing you to get in and out of situations as you see fit. The only real downsides are probably the traverse speeds, not that they would be bad on their own. Both the turret traverse and the hull traverse are about 40 degrees per second, which is not bad at all, but considering your actual speed, they might feel a little bit sluggish from time to time. And with that said, it's time to see where we have to bite the bullet for all this awesomeness. And yes, you guessed it right, it's of course the armor. Or better to say the complete lack of it. With 30mm of armor at most, anything will be able to damage you reliably. Plus, you will also be greatly affected by HE and ramming as well. If anybody on the enemy team is using a derp gun, be it a KV-2 or a tier 10 artillery, I guarantee you that they will drop everything as soon as you get spotted. A guaranteed 1000 plus damage hit is just too good to pass on. HE quite literally wrecks this machine, and you will get one-shotted frequently if you reveal yourself too much. Now would be the point where we would actually take a closer look at the actual armor profile as well, but what's the point? For all intents and purposes, just treat this thing as if you don't have any armor whatsoever. As for the rest, the 390 meters base view range is solid, the radio range is also very good at 750 meters, and the camo is alright too, though don't expect anything close to light tank stats on this thing. You are just too big for that, I'm afraid. Oh, by the way, talking about big, this thing has a huge silhouette, so try to keep it hidden as much as possible, otherwise you are just really making it too easy for the enemy. Right, so how do you drive this thing then? Well, you have a great gun, fantastic mobility really, and paper armor all around in a big medium tank that people love to shoot at because they do guarantee damage. See where this is going, don't you? The CDC is mostly a support tank, and a great one of that. Especially in the first half of the battle, you generally should try to keep yourself far from harm's way and harass the enemy from a distance, so you can trade damage later on when hunting the rest of the enemy. You should also be extremely selective with jumping on opponents, as they will do damage to you, even the tier 5 light tanks. And while you will most probably kill them, Why throw away a big chunk of your health at the beginning of the battle? Instead, use your mobility, get into positions, and don't forget to get out of them as well if the situation calls for it. And if you use it aggressively, you better know what you're doing and time your shots. If the enemy will have a choice of targets before them, they will choose you, I guarantee it. Finally, for some instant correction, the equipment and crew skill suggestions. For the former, I suggest gunrunner and vertical stabilizer for sure. For the third slot, I'm actually running vents, but I probably should switch it out for optics. Crew skill-wise, I would suggest going for camo and sixth sense first, as not getting shot at would be one of your main goals in this machine. After that, the usual choices can come: situational awareness, snapshot, smooth ride, and wet stowage. I would keep my eyes on clutch braking as well though, for improving your hull traverse, so it matches your speed a little bit better. But that's probably enough talk. Time for some action! Now this Ace Tanker gameplay is actually courtesy of Bob15, as I did not ace it myself just yet. Funnily enough though, this will be a lot contrary to the cautious gameplay advertised earlier, but at least you will see what the CDC is capable of on the front lines, if you are able to look after its health. Check this out. Alright, so here we are in our CDC, on an encounter match on good old Himmelsdorf. The matchmaking has been really good. There are only a handful of tier 8s on both of the teams, couple of tier 7s and actually quite a bit of tier 6s. Don't worry though, we will mostly engage the tier 8s in this match. Now matchmaking might be really good, but that basically only means that we will be pretty much guaranteed to penetrate even the fronts of anything on the enemy team. At the same time, anything including that tier 5 Leopard can murder us if we are not careful. And of course we have to be careful about tanks like the ISU 152, who can pretty much two-shot us guaranteed. But have a look at those tier 6s, a KV-2, an OI. Those 152mm derp guns can murder us mercilessly, so we really have to watch out what's shooting at us. Now Bob has taken the CDC into the prime location on top of Himmelsdorf. Now this is a very aggressive move, and oh boy, here comes the ISU 152. So let's make sure that he does not have enough time to snap that shot into us. So we will be pretty much fighting the enemy tier 8s on the front from start to finish. And you will see how important it is to watch out for your health. Any of these guys pretty much guaranteed to go through us and take a huge chunk out of us. Very important tracking shot there for the IS-3. And with our rate of fire, basically this means that we can keep this guy pinned from a location where he is not really able to shoot us. He gets one into the T-44, but he is done. And that means one very dangerous T-8 less that we have to face off against. ISU 152 up there. He's aiming at somebody else, which means it is our opportunity to maybe sneak another shot in. Unfortunately doesn't happen this time, but T-44 punishes us with a tracking shot. So far so good. And that's actually quite sneaky. You can loop a shell over that wreckage. And oh, here is a very low health T-44. Let's murder him. Oh, that's not good. We were actually auto-aiming there, and I think we might do it again. First, sneaky shot into the ISU 152. So auto-aiming in this position is only bad because the gun of the dead IS-3 is in the way. Auto-aim will aim straight at the target, exactly in the same position where the gun is, so it will a lot of times hit the gun. There we go, we did it again. So with a bit of manual aim, now we can get rid of the gun and put the shell into him. ISU is coming back up. That guy is doing some serious damage. And look at it, both reversing and going forward, this thing is very mobile. and the rate of fire means that we can re-engage targets as they pop up. Look at that ISU-152, that guy is already on 3 kills. He really put in some effective fire. Right now, however, he is in a lot of trouble. You have to be careful. Oh, that's the OI. That's not good news. Definitely want to make sure that we don't stay too much in front of him, otherwise, yep, we will end up like that ARR. You did see we did actually bounce from the mini turrets in the front of the OI. The right thing to do is exactly what Bob does here, is to go after the turret. Standard AP shells with 212mm of pen will be plenty to go through that one. Let's first finish off the OI, and now we can go after the ISU. Come on, that will be an important kill. Where is that bugger? He must have a really good camo crew to have disappeared there. And there we go. Very important kill secured. Which... it seems the ISU completely lost it after that. He calls Bob a camper noob after fighting it out with him on the main front of the map. Holy cow. How can you be this ignorant? But he is not finished yet. Just give him a second to type in his stupidness. There you go. Clicker, aimbot hacker, and a lot of bad words. Oh my god. Well, Dickinson McDickface is out of the match, so let's continue and work our way through the rest of the enemy team, and this very poor SU-100 has zero chance, especially after we track him. He fires one in frustration into the wall, and yeah, we all know that feeling. Oh, that was a dangerous one. Luckily the KV-2 did not face this way. Now he is though, so let's return. And yeah, that's a tricky one. The Black Prince firing APCR on us, which, I mean, he will pen us regardless of what he's firing on us, and we can take a couple of shots from him. The big issue is with the KV-2, who is trying to circle us, though he's revealed throughout the process. So let's try to snap a shot into him. We have to be careful though, if that guy hits us, he might